What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Alright, so, I got some really interesting news. Robert Downey Jr. maybe is Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think this is a match made in heaven. I think this is a perfect match. And I've done a lot of thinking on it. I sat there and I've tried processing it all last night. Went back and I watched Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. and how he took on that role. And of course, you know, Jon Favreau had a role in that as well. So, I mean, there's a connection between the two guys. They work really well on screen and off screen together. So I believe that there is a really perfect connection with those two. You know, looking back on it, I did not actually think that Robert Downey Jr. was probably the perfect fit for Iron Man until I saw him as Iron Man. And so I'm kind of that way with Grand Admiral Thrawn to a certain extent. I'm like, oh man, when I think of Grand Admiral Thrawn, I think of like a Benedict Cumberbatch or, you know, a Fassbender, something along those lines. Those actors portraying that specific role. Because Grand Admiral Thrawn, he's kind of a real serious dude. Robert Downey Jr., he's kind of got that snarky personality. So I just didn't think that him personally would fit into that. But the more I look at it, the more I think this is a perfect match and this needs to happen. Because he would bring some personality to Grand Admiral Thrawn that I think would elevate Grand Admiral Thrawn, because a lot of people that are not that didn't watch Rebels or didn't watch or didn't read the comics aren't really that familiar with Grand Admiral Thrawn. But Grand Admiral Thrawn is a really, really great villain. And Mandalorian fans, Ahsoka Tano fans, the new series with her should be really excited. If they're not familiar with that name, Thrawn, they need to look him up because he is a fascinating character. Probably one of the more interesting characters you will find, not just in Star Wars, but I would say in fandom in general. I mean, he's powerful. He hits all the boxes. He's powerful. He's cunning. He's always one step ahead. He is the perfect villain, and he's he's one that you can never count out, no matter what situation he's in. He's a capable fighter. I mean, he's shocking in every way. Like I said, he fits every box, and he will make a fabulous villain if they put him on The Mandalorian or if they put him on the Ahsoka Tano series. I actually personally don't believe he'll ever show up on The Mandalorian. I actually think that was a setup for the Ahsoka Tano series, and I am really, really excited about just him making his live action debut, but I'm really excited about Robert Downey Jr. playing this role. I think Robert Downey Jr. is going to blow this role up. I mean, look at what he did to Iron Man. I mean, you put anybody else in that Iron Man suit, you don't have the MCU. That's just the way I look at it. He was that great in that, and I didn't realize how great he was until I went back and I rewatched those movies. He made Iron Man. He made the MCU. There was, but besides Chadwick Boseman, I didn't really connect with any of these other characters quite as much as what I did with Robert Downey Jr. I mean, he was perfect for that role. That was the role he was meant to play. And I really believe that with Grand Admiral Thrawn. I think, man, with Grand Admiral Thrawn, he is going to elevate that character to a new level. He's going to put that character on the map. We might even be seeing, if this is correct and Robert Downey Jr. gets this role, we might actually be seeing a Robert Downey Jr. Thrawn movie down the road. And I would be excited about that. I'd be excited about it. I think that would be one Star Wars movie that you wouldn't even have to have the lore around it. You could just have that character taking on the Rebel Alliance or something along those lines, and I think you would have a great movie on your hands. That would be the one movie that I feel like fans across the board, Star Wars fans, would be excited to see and would not question it quite as much as what they've done other Disney Star Wars recreations or movies or series. But overall, I think this is a great fit, guys. I'm looking forward to it. I would like to know what y'all think. Do you think somebody like a Benedict Cumberbatch? Because that's a guy that comes to my mind anytime that I think of Grand Admiral Thrawn. And it's only because of just his disposition in the Sherlock Holmes series. All of these, like, he's just got that kind of mind that kind of works in that way. Of course, he was in Star Trek. I thought he did a great job in that. Of playing kind of a character that is very similar to Grand Admiral Thrawn, in that he's powerful, he's smart, you can't outthink Grand Admiral Thrawn. You just can't. He is the top dog in that way. To be honest with you, Grand Admiral Thrawn would be, not power-wise, but intelligence-wise, would actually be a threat to Palpatine. Because he's the kind of guy that could just automatically just create a coup and take over the Empire. That's how great of a character Grand Admiral Thrawn is. So I am truly excited about this. I am truly, truly excited about it. I think we have, if Robert Downey Jr. gets this role as Grand Admiral Thrawn, I really see it now. Disney just not just making series out of it, but I'm talking about movies out of it. And I'm just, like I said, I am beyond words. I am thinking that this would be a perfect fit. Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. have a long history together. We've seen the history take place on screen. We know how they work together. And we know the brilliance that those two can entail. I feel like Jon Favreau brings out the best in Robert Downey Jr. and vice versa. I mean, this is the perfect match right here. Just the perfect match. I think Robert Downey Jr. could just do a fantastic job as Grandma Thrawn. It wouldn't be the normal kind of roles that Robert Downey Jr. Is accustomed to. It'd be a more serious role, but I think he could pull it off. But guys, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all are excited about maybe Robert Downey Jr. playing Grand Admiral Thrawn. Maybe a Ahsoka Tano series, maybe even The Mandalorian. Even though like I said, highly doubt he'll ever show up in The Mandalorian. But, nothing shocking. And I only say that because I really believe The Mandalorian Season 3 will take place more on Mandalore. And it's going to go more about the Darksaber. And, again, could have something to do with Thrawn. I don't know. I have a feeling it's going to be more Moff Gideon. But I could be wrong on that. But let me know, guys, what y'all think. Let me know. I am excited for this news, and I'm excited to hear what y'all have to say about it. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and y'all take care.